Nobody was prepared for this. Nike headquarters, an uproar like you've never seen. Employees whispering in hallways. Fans spiraling online. And one name has started haunting every thread, every comment section, every news feed: Caitlin Clark. Because multiple insiders, social media patterns, and internal shifts all point to the same terrifying truth: the balance of power has flipped. And right in the eye of the storm stands Aya Wilson. Before this thing detonates further, smash that like if you felt the change. Subscribe if you don't trust the headlines. And comment one word: takeover or setup, because after what you're about to hear, women's basketball will never look the same again. For years, Aya Wilson was untouchable. MVP, champion, the embodiment of dominance. Nike didn't just sponsor her, they built empires around her image. Her name was the gold standard. Then Caitlin Clark showed up, and the entire narrative shifted. Suddenly, Nike's social feeds weren't the same. Their tone turned sharper, louder, more electric. Their numbers didn't just rise, they exploded. And inside the company, people began asking the one question no one dared say out loud: did Nike quietly pick a new queen? And then, just moments ago, online trackers and fan accounts noticed something that felt like a punch to the gut, something that changes everything.
I mean, it's probably been like a year and a half now of like figuring out what exactly I want. And I think probably the most challenging part of it is like you want it to be unique, but at the same time, like I have to be comfortable wearing it. So I think we kind of like, you kind of take what you know you're comfortable in. Like obviously I play in a lot of Kobe's, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a Kobe. I want it to be something very unique to me and a little bit different. And I think for myself, like, you know, I have to kind of think about like what's kind of been important to me when I think about like shoes or sneakers. And I think like just the chaseability of them, and like you want a certain sneaker or like you want a certain color.
Campaign placements shifted overnight. Clark content started appearing everywhere, globally, relentlessly. Engagement records weren't just broken, they were shattered. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson content slowed down, almost disappearing. No announcement, no press release, just a growing silence. And silence inside corporate America is never an accident. Now, let's talk about the unspoken truth, because fans are noticing something else. Caitlin Clark's presence is suddenly dominating every platform. Aya Wilson's visibility? Vanishing. Here's the question nobody wants to say out loud. Was she quietly sidelined? No one is claiming she was officially kicked out, but the perception shift is real, and perception is everything. When fans start believing one star is being elevated, another automatically looks like she's being pushed aside, and here's where it gets uncomfortable. Caitlin Clark merchandise sells out in minutes. Nike shoes go on backorder. Social engagement hits record highs. Meanwhile, fans keep asking the same question: why isn't Aya getting the same push anymore?
An almighty long time. That is WNBA MVP, three-time champion A'ja Wilson. Now, over here on my channel, we're not really big fans of A'ja Wilson the cheater or A'ja Wilson the secret whistle hacker, because to me, it's a lot that goes into the A'ja Wilson hype. The little hype that she got. That is the WNBA referees playing a factor in a lot of the calls that she get and a lot of these championships that she got. I feel like if it wasn't for the WNBA referees, she wouldn't have nearby as much clout as she got. But unfortunately, that was the hand that we was dealt with.
That question alone created pressure, and pressure breeds stories. And this is where the story turns ugly. Some fans began pointing fingers at Caitlin Clark, blaming her for the shift. Others rushed to defend her, insisting she didn't ask for any of this. She just shows up, performs, takes the hits, the fouls, the hate, and never complains. That contrast ignited the internet like gasoline. Caitlin Clark gets knocked down and stays silent. Aya Wilson, critics claim, spoke out. Fair or not, the internet chose sides. And sports media? They started whispering the dangerous lines. Nike is repositioning, Clark is the future, and brands always chase eyeballs.
And I guess. So, yay. Let's just take a look and some of the reaction, and I'm going to call the Indiana Fever out too, because of course they didn't share a damn thing about this. I mean, it's crazy. So right here, this is a comparison. This is the logo, the two CCs intertwined together. Somebody said it looked a lot like a 1950s airline logo, and I was like, you know,
And that's when the scariest sentence dropped. This isn't personal, it's business. Because when brands pivot, legends don't disappear, they get left behind. Not erased, but replaced. Let's be clear, Aya Wilson is still a superstar, still elite, still dominant. But dominance on the court doesn't automatically translate to dominance in marketing. And right now, Caitlin Clark owns the headlines, the jerseys, the youth fans, and the sponsor spotlight. This isn't a takeover by force. This is a takeover by demand.
This tapped in, this lasered in, if it wasn't such a big thing at the negotiating table. Of course, people are going to start comparing it because it's like the founders of this league tried to make it seem like it is so much better than the WNBA, and I feel like that's kind of disrespectful. Yes, they did a lot of things right. They did a lot of incredible things, but we wouldn't be looking into Unrivaled this hard and be like, well, where'd you get your money? Well, how much is the TV deal? How many people are tuning in? If they wouldn't have built it up and been like, well, the WNBA sucks and everybody there sucks, which I am on their side in a sense that I do think with the WNBA, so much could be better. But anybody who was here thinking that Unrivaled is just going to be this massive thing and it's going to put the WNBA under, like, I've been saying that from the beginning. And I've also said from the beginning, Unrivaled doesn't succeed if both leagues are successful, and especially if the WNBA is successful. All Breanna Stewart and Nafisa have been saying from the beginning is they want to make sure that the ladies get paid more and they can stay on American soil. You know how they can do that? By playing in the WNBA. And if they do get these salaries that are $500,000 average with over $1 million max, they're going to be making more than they make at Unrivaled. They're going to be playing 5v5 courts. They're going to be playing in much bigger arenas. So they did their job. So in that sense, if that was truly their goal, they did their job. They did their job. They used, I guess, possibly some leverage from Unrivaled at the negotiating table, and they did their job and they got the ladies paid more, and now you don't necessarily need Unrivaled anymore. So I'm very interested to see what the future of this league is. I do think if the WNBA is massively successful, all of these other leagues are not going to happen. They're not going to happen unless they're sanctioned by the WNBA. Run the tape back from over a year ago. I've been saying this from the beginning. And if I end up being right, I'm going to need an apology from the thousands of you who hate on me online.
This isn't about hate. This is about a league being rewritten. New fans, new money, new faces, and every era shift comes with casualties. The question isn't, is Aya canceled? The question is, can the old guard survive the Clark era? Because here's the brutal truth. Nike doesn't choose feelings. Nike chooses futures. And right now, Caitlin Clark is the future. Fans are buying into that. That doesn't erase Aya Wilson, but it changes everything. So now I want to know, was this a natural takeover or a manufactured shift? Is Caitlin Clark being unfairly blamed, or is the league panicking? Comment Clark era or Aya fight back, because this story is only getting started.